The all-new 2025 Superman movie toys are now soaring into stores. Is Spin Master's 6-inch basic David Corenswet worth picking up? Stick around and find out. Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation. Starting off with the packaging, and this Superman line comes on blister cards, names and logos down here, along with letting us know about a collect-to-build figure. The blister itself is meant to evoke the crystals of the Fortress of Solitude, but the promotional image of Superman himself is kind of hidden in the corner, with the DC logo doing most of the heavy lifting, and lots of negative space. I feel like it would have been a lot more effective to move this to over here and blow it up. Flipping around back though, and I do like what I see, which are pictures of all the figures in the wave, the parts that they come with, and how it all comes together. For those searching for Superman in-store, here's the UPC. It's important to remember that this line is mainly for kids, and while I do think it could be better, it still gets the job done, and in a clever, colorful way. Grading on a curve for being a kid's figure and for packaging, I'm giving Superman 4 points. Moving on to presentation, and Superman stands at 6 inches on the dot, or 15.5 centimeters. In real life, David Corenswet is 6'4", making him the tallest Superman actor, so at a 1/12 scale, the figure should have been closer to 6.5 inches, but again, this is a basic toy line targeted for kids, so we should be gracious. In the spirit of being gracious, let's just take a moment to talk about the costume. Ever since the first image of Superman from this movie was revealed, it's been a pretty heated topic amongst fans. Some fans appreciate the brighter colors and the trunks, feeling it harkens back to a more classic Man of Steel. Others complain that it looks childish or that this Superman looks weak. Still others defend it by pointing out all of its influences. The high collar and the paneling obviously taken from New 52, the logo taken from Kingdom Come, the square belt buckle clearly taken from Dean Cain. Oh, wait, am I the only one that's pointed that out? It actually reminds me a lot of the costume that Captain America wore in the first Avengers. But you know what? I still love that movie. Bouncing over to Batman, and I have always hated this costume, but it doesn't change the fact that The Dark Knight is one of the best and most important superhero movies ever made. Long story short, while the costume is important, it's not everything. As long as the story and the performances are good, I'm sure that with sequels they can make them better. For now, I'm keeping an open mind, and I want to invite you to do the same. Focusing on the figure though, and Spin Master has done a good job of translating it. The texture and the wrinkles and the seam lines are all present and accounted for, and the logo is vibrant. I will say some of the paint is a bit sloppy, but again, I gotta keep reminding myself this is a $10 kids figure. Is the cape kinda cheap? Yeah, but hey, at least it has the logo. I should probably also note that my Target had 3 and I picked the one with the best paint job. As for the head, and again, for a $10 basic kids figure, this isn't bad. Zooming on in, there actually might be some face printing there, but the flesh tone itself is kinda gloppy and streaky, so it does take away from it. If anything, I find myself feeling more frustrated than anything else. Like, could Spin Master have been making figures like this the whole time, but just chose not to? Since 2020, we've basically just been getting repaints and restocks of the same 20 figures over and over, but now that they're losing the license, suddenly they're upping their game. Now we're getting cool retro style figures. Now all of a sudden they're doing a 6-inch scale. It's kind of like when you're dating somebody that's been coasting, and then as soon as you dump them, they start doing all the things they should have been doing all along. It's nice that they're doing it now, but the relationship is over. And honestly, my main thought is, how much better could this have been had Spin Master been doing it all along? Imagine the improvements with 5 years of practice. By the sounds of it, you probably think I hate this figure, and that's not true. Mostly I'm just frustrated by what could have been. As is though, and it's a fine basic toy for kids. For presentation, I'm giving Superman 3 points. If you're enjoying this video so far, do me a favor and give it a like. And if you'd like to support my content so I can make even more of it, I now have an account with Coffee. Link to that in the description below. Moving on to Poseability, and just like Superman's outside underwear, it's gonna be brief. From the top, and I'm assuming that Soup's head is on a ball joint. I say that because there's a little bit of wiggle up and down, but I've also noticed that the more I try, the more the seam separates. So honestly, I'm not sure. I just know that he gets complete rotation. Moving down, and his shoulders are swivel hinge and can raise this high. They also get complete rotation. As a basic figure, he doesn't have any kind of butterfly joint or bicep swivel, but he does have single jointed swivel elbows, so they make up for the lack of bicep swivel, but the bend is only about 90 degrees. Clark doesn't have any wrist articulation, nor anything in the waist or torso. Below the bright yellow belt, and Superman has swivel hinge hips. The dead giveaway are the grooves. Cal can only kick this high, and that super booty means he can't bend back at all, but he does get a perfect split. Moving on down the leg, and this Man of Tomorrow has no thigh cut, but he does have single-jointed swivel knees. In a lot of ways, that does compensate for the lack of thigh cut or boot cut, but much like the elbow, there's not much in the way of bend. And then all the way down, there's no ankle articulation whatsoever, even though there's a perfect groove there for a hinge. These are basic kids figures, so I do understand. Still, anything would have been helpful. Again, grading on a curve because this is for kids. For Poseability, Superman gets 3 points. Moving on to Playability, and if you thought the Poseability was quick, wait till we talk about the accessories. As a reminder, this is a build-a-wave, or collect-to-build. In this case, one of Superman's robotic attendants. This figure comes with the head and upper torso. It's been cast in a really nice pearlized blue plastic, and I have to admit, I am pretty impressed by the detail. The eye is only painted on, but beyond that, all the different seams and panels and rivets and whatevers are present and accounted for. The logo is nicely crisp, and similar to Superman, he has a soft goods cape. That, however, is the only accessory that Superman comes with, despite having 2 accessory holding hands. But Playability is more than accessories or the ability to hold them. It's also about how well your figure plays with others. Starting with some other 6-inch scale Supermen, and here's a 2003 Batman 2-pack by Mattel, the DC Superheroes S3 sculpt by Mattel, and DC Universe Classics also by Mattel. I could have sworn I had a basic Mattel Henry Cavill, but I do have this Movie Masters version. I also have this Total Heroes version. Switching companies, and here's DC Icons from DC Collectibles, along with the DC Icons Rebirth. As you can see, DC Essentials is way too big, so you definitely won't be scaling this Superman with DC Multiverse. He does, however, scale perfectly with the retro-style DC figures by McFarlane. Here I have him with Adam West Batman. For some other toy lines, though, and here's where Superman fits among some Hasbro figures. He skews small, but you could definitely fudge it in figure photography. Marvel Legends would be a bit harder to pull off, though keep in mind that the MCU figures tend to skew a bit shorter. For a relative scale comparison, and here's Superman with Pizza Spidey and the spectacular Spider-Man. And as always, here he is with Stealth Iron Man. Hey, don't feel bad about not having ankle articulation. I don't even have feet. This is definitely the kind of figure whose play value depends on you getting other figures in the line. That said, for just a good generic Superman toy, it's fine. So for Playability, I'm giving this Superman 3 points. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. Despite any of my criticisms, $10 for a figure and accessory like this is perfect. It's only a buck or two more than the 4-inch figure, so you really feel the value. Unless you guys really demand it, I'm probably not going to be getting any of the other figures in this line. Still, I'm happy I checked this one out, and I'm excited to see what other super things are in store. For price, I'm giving this Superman 5 points, averaging out to a grand total of 3.6 out of 5. Let me know in the comments what you think and how excited you are for the new Superman movie. If you like this video, check out one of these. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, play nice and have fun.